Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hey You Guys review show. Hope you are very well, and thank you for joining us once again as we give you a review of a new movie that's coming out this week. Scott Davis here, joined as ever by the lovely Linda Marric. How are you doing, Linda?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I think I saw you last night very briefly from afar.
From afar, yeah, I was there in the set, although it got split into two screens, apparently. So yeah, I think there was a split, so I didn't see everybody, but I said hello to people, but I had a +1, so I was trying to say hello to people, but also be
fair enough.
With my +1. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Hey You Guys YouTube channel. All our interviews and reviews and everything else go on there, as well as on the homepage HeyUGuys.com for all of your film and TV goodness. We're going to talk about another film, one of the big films that's out this week, and as you're watching this, the embargo would have lifted, because as we're recording, we can't actually talk about it in public. Well, we can tweet about it. I think we can't actually do a full review, and that is part six of the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Dominion, which is in cinemas this Friday, June the 12th. And I think the same in the US. I think it's just the same release.
Yeah, I think it's coming out the same
of the pond. So our friends in the US, you can.
Although there have been some territories that the film is already showing in Asia and South America.
Yeah, so, which makes embargoes a bit stranger. But it is what it is. We play by the rules.
Exactly.
Yes, part 6 of the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Dominion. It's the third part of the Jurassic World franchise, the 6th part in total. And we're going to dive into it right now. Directed by Colin Trevorrow, who made Jurassic World. Didn't direct the second one, but is back for this one, and stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, who returned from the previous film, and it has the legacy characters back. Jeff Goldblum, briefly in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, as well as Sam Neill and Laura Dern back for this legacy film, they're calling it, requel, all that kind of jazz is in this one, similar to what happened, I guess, with Scream earlier in the year. Some of the legacy
I mean, when Hollywood learns to do one thing and it just does it to death, but hey, we can argue with it.
This one kind of makes sense on paper, given what it is. It kind of makes sense on paper. In practice, however, we're going to discuss
not so much.
Oh no, that's all right, there you go. Not so much. Linda, where do you sit on the franchise as a whole? Because obviously Jurassic Park, the first one, is an incredible film for so many different reasons, and now we're at number 6.
Well, I remember going to see the very first one at cinema in Putney in 1993.
Yeah,
and it was, for me, the most amazing thing I had never seen until then, like visually, CGI wise, or not even just sort of monster movie. I had never seen anything like it before, and I was in awe, and I didn't think anything could beat it ever. And honestly, I still think that. I think anything that came after it, in either this franchise or the Godzilla movies or the King Kong movies, nothing has touched it so far. I'm not against franchises, but I like the sort of the original trilogy of the Jurassic Park trilogy. I wasn't so keen on the Jurassic World films as a whole.
So you like them more than I do then, because I really only like the first one.
Oh really? Oh yeah, no, I didn't mind them. I think the first, go on.
I don't like any of the sequels thus far.
Okay, fair enough.
Not that all of them are like bad films. It's just they pale in comparison to that first.
Absolutely, no, I agree. No.
Yeah, it's. I understand the fascination. So my brother is a huge Dinosaurs fan, and I can understand the fascination for people around the world with dinosaurs and this franchise, and why it's such a big deal for so many people, and why it's made a hell of a lot of money. Which is obviously another reason why, because I think Jurassic World was, going to come out, and everyone was talking. Remember, people talking about it when it first came out, Jurassic World in 2015. Whether it was like, are we rebooting Jurassic Park? Are we doing another one? Blah, blah, blah. And then it made like $1 gajillion. So it's
it wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't a great movie. And
no, it was not.
It was a pointless reboot, in my opinion.
I think all of the three, and we'll come on to the third one in a second, but I think they have all been very, very pointless, as did the sequels. Jurassic World, there's bits that I like. Jurassic 3, there's little bits that I like, but I don't really like any of them. Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I'm not a huge fan of at all. And I love my big summer movies, and this was always a franchise that for some reason just
Yeah,
never sat right with me since the first one, because the first one is just astoundingly good.
I mean, I think the problem with it is that none of the directors that came after are Steven Spielberg. That's the biggest problem, you know. I think you can't out Spielberg, and you know, he knows, he's got that kind of sixth sense about what makes people carry on watching, and I think that's what loads of the reboot films really lacked. I didn't really care about any of the characters, and I think what Spielberg does really well is sort of make you care so much about each of those characters and makes you really hate the people that you're supposed to hate. And I personally felt ambivalent about the villains and the sort of the good people in all of these three movies. I don't know, what do you
same. Yeah, I think this one is the prime example, like the worst offender with that stuff, because it does. We'll talk about Jurassic World Dominion now, shall we? It does everything like that, like you've just said. It does everything the worst it can do in this, in terms of it's it's so by the numbers and so kind of cliched and so lazy in what it's doing the whole way through the film, that I was just ambivalent to all of it. Now, you know, when a dinosaur, even if the films are bad, there's always one set piece in those movies where you think, yes, okay, I understand. This is why there's the fascination with the dinosaurs. You know, obviously you can't beat the T-Rex sequence in the first one, but people have tried. And in differing ways, they've managed to kind of replicate it and make it as good as it could possibly be against the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park and lots of other things. I think this was the worst offender in terms of, the worst offender in terms of doing all of the basics very badly. That's what I thought. I thought everything about it was very lazy.
Paint by numbers.
Yeah, and I know that that's a good point. Paint by numbers. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I understand this was made under very difficult circumstances given the pandemic and everything else. I understand that, but you know, I don't think that excuses. They would have gone into this with the same script that they did beforehand. It's just COVID made it a little bit differently. But I think,
look, you could say the same thing about other films that have been made during the pandemic that did much better and that worked much better. So I don't think that's a good excuse for them. That's not an excuse for them to sort of deliver what they've delivered. I am actually quite astonished that a franchise like this could be so poorly executed. Do you know what I mean? It's like just terrible. Actually, you know, like I was expecting some comedy and some humor from Goldblum, and there is, but I think the stuff that got the most laughs was from peripheral actors who were like comedians. They're the barista guy, for example, in one scene. That got the biggest laugh, and then the air sort of Denise, whatever her name is. That was, those two were the sort of biggest laughs of the film. Why couldn't all the film have been like that? I don't understand. It was just so bizarre.
Yeah. Also, and this is a light spoiler for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. Obviously, you're going to see it. They cut out a funny joke that's in the trailer that's not in the film, and there was a bit where it was leading up to that joke, and I was like, "Oh, it's a fun joke. People will laugh at this." And then I was like, "Oh, they cut it out.
So silly.
Why would you cut it out?" I don't understand. I don't understand that. Because it's quite.
And it was long.
Goldblum quip. And I think for a franchise that has all of the tools at its disposal that this one does in terms of the CGI and having Amblin and ILM and all that kind of stuff, and the cast that it's got, I think it's a massive disservice to all of them that this is what it was produced. I was very also, and again, this is just a personal thing, but I was a bit skeptical as well when they got Colin Trevorrow back to do it, not just because he did Jurassic World, but has anyone not seen the Book of Henry?
Oh God,
oh my goodness gracious me, come on. Like J.A. Bayona, you know, he's a half decent director. Okay, he didn't make a very particularly good film, but at least they're trying to. But getting him back, it's like the Star Wars effect again with J.J. Abrams, getting someone back in to be safe, but safe is sometimes not right. And I felt
dull.
this made very safe,
Yeah.
but badly, and does pretty
Yeah.
much everything pretty ropily. It's not an awful film. I've seen far worse films than this, but it's not a good film.
I was checking the time every 5 minutes. That's how bored
Wow.
I was.
Wow. Okay.
So
I didn't do that.
I
So
was
that's why
bored. I was bored for a very big chunk in the middle. It's 2
Hmm.
hours and 25 minutes. Is that right?
It's 2.5 hours.
Like that.
Yeah.
I was checking the time every 5 minutes, especially in the middle. It was so baggy. This is an example where you really, I think less is more. Genuinely, I think 2 hours would have been sufficient. There was nothing. There was some sequences in the middle that didn't need to be there at all.
Yeah, I know.
And then there were 2 storylines about sort of monsters and another storyline about prehistoric what were they? Locusts.
Locusts, yeah.
And that made it was just such a mess. I honestly very disappointed. I think there's obviously a lot of money behind these the franchise, and I just think a better screenplay would have produced a better movie. And I think the worst thing about it is the screenplay. It's so badly written.
Yeah, it's horribly written. It's like you said before, paint by numbers, but kind of worse than that. Like, it doesn't know, like you said before, it's a very jumbled film anyway, but then it doesn't know if it should be a serious thing about the dinosaurs. Should it be a comedy? Should it be both? Should it be a bit of this, bit of that? It's just such a muddle that it doesn't end up doing any of them very good. So they all get done pretty ropily, I thought. And I think when you have a film that's 2.5 hours long, you should be able to utilize your time much better than the way that they have with everything that's going on. It just felt like a bit of a slog, not to the degree of I wasn't really checking. I checked my watch twice maybe, but in a good film you don't usually check your watches.
Don't check.
But I think also, I know people have said this online on social media and stuff like that, but if you can't really compare them, but I understand what they're trying to say in the sense you've got Jurassic World Dominion on one side of how not to do it, Top Gun Maverick on the other side, where if you're going to make it,
how to do it,
that's the way to do it. They're very different, and obviously one is concerning dinosaurs which don't exist anymore, but in terms of the basics and how to get an audience to make a crowd pleaser, which Jurassic Park certainly was when it came out, versus Top Gun Maverick and this one, it's it's black and white, it's night and day.
I also didn't care about any of them. I mean, apart from Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, who I would die for. And I think I would have watched the film just with them in it.
Yeah.
3 of them in it. I wasn't interested. I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard, who is a brilliant actress and always good. Actually, she carried the first movie, to be honest with you. Her and Chris Pratt, unfortunately, have zero chemistry.
Oh, it's also zero
yeah.
chemistry, but so painfully obvious when you're watching it.
Oh God, it's like it's like flogging a dead horse.
Yeah.
With that relationship, I just we really don't care about these two. You can drop that. I actually there was a couple of new characters who I really liked, played by Mamadou Assi and by
and DeWanda Wise.
Yeah, that's it. And I think maybe I would have rather watched those two instead for longer, because there was plenty of time to sort of give Mamadou Assi more sort of air time, but obviously it all got taken over by the legacy characters. And
and even then they're not in, you know what I mean, they're all, because the way it's done, then they're all like fighting for a bit of, there's like 4 parallel storylines
overpopulated.
It's like a bit
it's not the way to that is overpopulated by characters, and none of them are doing anything of value. You know
and
what I mean?
Structurally it's all over the place. Like like we said before, the basics are done so badly. I think that is at the disservice of what is a very talented cast of actors.
Let's talk about that actually, because they all do a really good job. I think that they're doing their best with
I think most I think most of them most of them do. I think. I think they obviously clearly had fun making it and all that kind of stuff, as that seems. But yeah, I think Bryce Dallas Howard is better than what she's given. I think Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Whatever your opinion of someone like Chris Pratt is,
I think he's great. I think he's great.
Better than this, you know. And like, it's weird. It's weird with Chris Pratt. As, the person I was with yesterday was saying about how, you know, he's now gone on to these, like, he's kind of being the dad, trying to be the dad. So he's not like, he didn't look particular. This is no criticism of Chris Pratt, but he didn't look like his ripped Guardians self. He looked like a dad, you know, all that kind of stuff. Not in a negative way.
Good.
Not in a negative way.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But I thought he looked good. I thought he looked pretty good.
Not bad. I can't talk.
Yeah.
I can't talk. But I think by doing that, we lost a bit of the quippy Chris Pratt that would have been more useful.
Comedy. Not enough humor.
The one that we get here. So that was a service. And then, but then also, you know, you have Jeff Goldblum in it, who's obviously very, very funny as well, and very charismatic. So is Sam Neill. So is Laura Dern. So they're all fighting for screen time, and it was probably as good as they are. Too many characters.
Yeah, too many. You're right.
Characters like this. It's a lot to.
And when you get someone like Chris Pratt, who is known for doing really good comedy, you know, even in a what's the sitcom he was in for a very long time? Not sitcom. I mean.
Oh, Parks and Recreation.
Yeah. Yeah, he was so good in that.
He's a funny guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very funny person. He's very funny. He's a great comedian. So why not give him funnier lines? It's a film. It's a script that lacks serious humor, and all the humor comes from unexpected things and things that shouldn't make you laugh. It was just really bizarre. Like,
and also in terms of the spectacle, I don't think there was any. I can't remember anything that stood out to me in terms of the dinosaurs, all that kind of stuff. It just felt like, here we go again. It's just a repeat of let's just throw dinosaurs in and they'll just do the things. I never felt any jeopardy for them. I never felt there was any stakes. There's all this thing, like you said, not to give a spoiler, but there is the thing that's happening in the world, not just the dinosaurs. There's something that's about to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
it's not happening. What's that got to do with anything?
And then you have Campbell Scott, again, a very accomplished actor, playing this weird science guy that doesn't really fit anything, but I don't know. But it reminded me a lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise in that this surely this is, and I take no pride in this, and I'm not being facetious or evil or anything like that. I hope this is the end. Don't need any more. No more.
No, unless Steven Spielberg says, I'd like to make one last movie with my original characters and blah blah blah.
But even then,
I don't want. I'll buy that. I'll buy that for a penny. I think unless Steven Spielberg and Crichton like re sort of jigs Crichton's work and stuff.
But also I will say, like the Pirates trilogy, the Pirates franchise, even though now that Johnny Depp, they've done six films, whatever it is now with Johnny Depp, but he's not doing it anymore. They're now bringing it back with Margot Robbie and doing a spin-off thing. So it's like, well, that it wouldn't surprise me if 5, 6 years.
But those are not.
We can have a Jurassic Park film. It's a spin-off of this, blah blah blah.
Yeah. But I've never been a big fan of the Pirates movies anyway. I don't think they're as good as the Jurassic Park.
I just meant in terms of flogging a dead horse, that they just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I feel like this is the same for.
Yeah, I think let's close this chapter and go off and do something else and let everyone else, get on with their lives.
Yeah, the problem is as well, as we know with franchises in general. If it's making money, it won't lay dormant for very long because studios will want it to make money.
Yes, you're right. Unfortunately, you are right.
Will be like, well, we say it's the end. It's not really the end, is it? We know, but we don't need it in the next 2 or 3 years. Thank you.
Okay.
Time to stop.
All right. Well,
anyway, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Dominion is in cinemas from Friday. If you want to go and check it out, I'm sure you're all going to go and check it out, as everybody.
Yeah, let's do the stars before
we do your stars. Linda,
you go first.
I'm gonna say 2 stars because we don't do halves. So I will give it a very, very soft 2 stars. Very soft.
2 stars for me as well.
Bordering on a 1.
I was considering 1, but I have to say, I thought some of the performances were very good, especially the newest new characters.
I think Goldblum and Laura Dern save it from being utterly catastrophic. Let's say that, and the new Mamadou Athey.
Mamadou Athey is really, really good. I think he's such a fantastic actor. Should be in everything possible, for sure. And
they all add a bit of a freshness. I think if none of them were in there and it was just Chris Pratt, Bryce, Dallas Howard, etc. again.
And Omar Sy is in it very briefly. Quite sad because I love Omar Sy, and I thought he'd get a slightly bigger part in this, but obviously there were too many people in the film.
I also wonder whether because he was in a TV show recently, wasn't he, or something? Maybe because they were filming during COVID. Maybe it was just how it worked. I don't know these things. So yes, we're both going to give it 2 stars. Jurassic World Dominion is out this Friday in cinemas. You can go make up your mind. I think the reviews from the social reactions from what I've seen in the UK and the US so far have been very mixed. So but I think, like we said, but we talk about franchise. Just at the end, I'll say a lot of them are quite bulletproof to critics. So you're going to go and see it, and you'll probably have a great time watching the dinosaurs.
I personally feel like this isn't going to do very well. Personally, I think Maverick is still going to beat it next week. I have a feeling. You
think Maverick will? I don't know about that.
I don't know. You don't think?
No, I think these movies make a lot of money. I don't think it'll make.
I don't know.
But I still think they make enough money. Plus, they're a worldwide thing. Like worldwide is where they.
How did the second one do?
I think it was. Well, Jurassic World did $1 billion. I would think Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom did $1 billion as well. So.
I didn't give that a good review either. So
let's just take it as if it does $1 billion again, Linda. We don't know what we're talking about.
Exactly. Well, I don't really care.
We don't care. We don't care. You make up your own mind. That's what we like about cinema. You go make your own mind. That's in cinema this Friday. We will be back very soon as a few big kind of family.
Lightyear.
We've got Buzz Lightyear coming. The real Buzz Lightyear, not the Buzz Lightyear. It's confusing, but Buzz Lightyear's coming. And then those pesky Minions are around the corner.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the Minions.
So am I.
I love the Minions.
Steve Carell's back in it, so you can't beat a bit of Steve Carell. And there's a few. And obviously Thor in a few weeks as well. So the summer season is well and truly with us. And it's there's a lot of big releases. So hopefully we'll be able to give you some reviews of those. But life might find a way to screw it. Anyway, if you don't already, as a show, make sure you like and subscribe to Hey You Guys. All the stuff is on our website, HeyUGuys.com. We have a lot of interviews going up in the next couple of weeks. It's pretty mental. So make sure you like and subscribe. Me and Linda will be back very soon. Until we see you next time, take care and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!